Hello everyone, it's Edwin here, Pretty Green Vinyl Guy, and I thought I would jump into this thread that's happening. It's basically picking one album from each letter of the alphabet through your collection. I've seen a few people do this, and I thought I would jump in before everybody starts doing it and there's less choices. So I think I've managed to pick an artist that hasn't been shown for almost every letter, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, just give me something to do, right? So anyway, some inventive people have gone from Z or Z back to A, so I think I'll do that also. So yeah, let's start with Z. ZZ Top. We have, for Z, Warren Zevon. And this is Excitable Boy. I think this was his third album. Probably what you'd say was his breakout. Great album all the way through. I know Werewolves of London gets all the talk, but this is a really great album overall. Warren Zevon. For Y, I'm going to go with... I should have taken these out of the... Getting lazy. We're going to go with Yaz. This was a English supergroup, if you like. This was Vince Clarke, who was a founding member of Depeche Mode, and Alison Moyet, who has this great voice, and they collaborated on what started as Yazoo and then got shortened to Yaz. One of the most iconic album covers of the 80s for sure. This has Don't Go, Only You, Situation, really great album. Yeah, Alison Moyet, piano and vocals, noises, Vince Clarke. Who is this produced by? Can't see a name here. Anyway, fantastic album left over. I'm just going to turn this light out. Okay. For X, this is a hard one, of course, because there's not many choices for X, and I saw Steve Carlson, he's doing his, what was he calling it? Kind of like the college radio hits of the 80s, left of the dial. And he talked about this in his video yesterday. This is XTC's The Dukes of Stratosphere. This was their psych rock album. And Steve did such a good job explaining it that I'll probably just let you go to his channel. But basically, XTC had this idea going around. Andy Partridge, the so-called leader of XTC, had this idea about reinventing this fake band of psych rock, basically coming up with a fake band and pretending that it was a lost classic, and that was sort of the working premise. It didn't quite go that way, but this became very popular, and it's a very good album. Next we're going to go for W. We're going to go with the Waterboys. Celtic rock, Scottish, Irish, Mike Scott. This was sort of their, I guess their Abbey Road, their sort of, what am I trying to say? Sort of like their pinnacle. This is where they reached the top. Fisherman's Blues, World Party. Interesting, World Party became a band. That was one of the other guys in the band. Forget his name right now. But yeah, great album. Should be in every collection. I guess all of these should be in every collection. Verve, we got the Bottom Femmes. This was their first album. Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, Add It Up, Prove My Love. Groundbreaking at the time. I remember when I first heard this, I was like, whoa, what is this? Acoustic punk. And I saw these guys in Vancouver, and they're just as good live. And what a great freaking album. So good. And then we've got the Undertones. This is kind of a greatest hits. Teenage Kicks. They were from Northern Ireland. And Fergal Sharkey, who left the band, but the band continued on after him, and both had success. For T, we've got them Crooked Vultures. This was a super group with John Paul Jones from Zeppelin, of course. Josh from Queens of the Stone Age, and Dave Grohl, of course, from Nirvana, Foo Fighters fame. This is a hard rock, kind of a hard album to get actually, but really good hard rock meets post-grunge type of thing. For S, I have Silver Apples. This is one I just kind of read about, and then I ordered it off of Amazon. These guys were kind of psych rock, very Piper at the Gates of Dawn-ish kind of idea. The controversies in the album cover, this is them in the cockpit of a plane. And you can see the drugs. There's a little vial of Coke. And then on the back cover is a plane crash site. This had something to do with Pan Am, I believe, and they sued them. Yeah, they actually thanked Pan Am for the jet on the back of the title, on the back cover here. And they were then sued by Pan Am because, drugs and plane crashes probably don't look good on the company. But yeah, pretty good album. For R, we're going to go with the Replacements. Let It Be. This will obviously rank, I would say, in Steve Carlson's video of Left of the Dial. I don't remember if this was their first album, but Paul Westerberg, sort of in the vein of R.E.M., jangly, college rock, good stuff, great album, classic. What can you say? For Q, Queens of the Stone Age. I guess Josh gets a double showing in this. Everybody knows who that is. For P, go with Iggy Pop. This is Raw Power. This was 1973. This was the second or the third big release. Search and Destroy, Gimme Danger, Penetration, Raw Power. Great stuff. Actually, I've been spending quite a bit of time watching on YouTube Jonesy's Jukebox, which is a radio station in LA. Steve Jones, former guitarist of the Pistols, he hosts a radio show. Some of you have probably seen it, but they do like a live feed. It's kind of Howard Stern-y, and I highly recommend Jonesy's Jukebox. I subscribe to it, and he does a great interview with Iggy Pop. Great stuff. Does great interviews. Steve Jones is a very good interviewer, kind of like, again, in a Howard Stern-y way where he just knows how to ask it to get the answer. Really, really good. Go with Sinead O'Connor for the O's, another Irish. This was her first album, The Lion and the Cobra. I saw this tour in Vancouver in the Commodore where, she was virtually unknown. And, they talk about auto-tune today on recordings and, that sort of thing. Well, this girl, she could sing, let me tell you. She sounded just as good live. This is a great album. Jackie, Mandika, Jerusalem, Troy, I Want Your Hands on Me. Wow. what a sophomore album. No one talks about this. This is a great, great first album. For N, we got the New York Dolls. Lipstick Killer. Yeah, Killers. This is, I think, a remaking of their earliest studio demos. I actually have to get me some more New York Dolls. But, yeah, definitely inspirational. And another band actually in a similar vein, maybe, Mott Hoople. All the Young Dudes. They do Lou Reed's Sweet Jane. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Ian Hunter. And Bowie plays sax on this. For L, we've got the Libertines. This is Brit rock, Brit garage. This was their first album, I believe, 2004. And yeah, if you don't know the Libertines, very raw, rocky, garagey sound. Pete Doherty, this guy right here, he was famous for dating Kate Moss. Super talented guy. Oh my god. And I actually have one of his solo albums on CD. I don't know if it came out on vinyl. Fantastic stuff. And you know, he's still going. I don't know how, but he was a junkie, like, big time. But super talented. And this was the first group, and then he went on his own. Great stuff. The Libertines. For J, we've got Joy Division. This is the complete BBC recordings. And this has Transmission, Love Will Tear Us Apart, She's Lost Control. A couple of interviews. Good stuff. Good stuff. For I, I've chosen Interpol. Interpol, interesting band. You know, never really reached huge success, but this is considered a classic album. Turn on the Bright Lights. This is, I think, third or fourth album in their discography. Yeah, really good, like kind of moody, you know, that 2000s sort of sound, and good album. Put it this way, if Steve Carlson was doing a left of dial for the 2000s, Interpol would be in the top 10. I picked the wrong one for this, actually. I was going to pick the London Hull, but anyway, the House Martins for H. The people who grinned themselves to death. Someone's doing a video on long album titles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. House Martins, of course, was Norman Cook, who went on to become Fatboy Slim. Stan Cullimore, Dave Hemingway, and yeah, very sort of pre-Brit rock, sort of, you know, set the standard. Very good stuff. For G, we'll do an oldie, do Ode to Billy Joe. This is Bobby Gentry. What a voice. Not normally in my wheelhouse, but I saw this one day in a bin and had to buy it. For F, we'll go with Robert Fripp. This is the League of Gentlemen. I could have picked any number. I've got quite a few. Interesting, this has the tour dates to support the album on the back. Robert Fripp. This is, you know, this was a band he called the League of Gentlemen, and of course, there was a girl in it, Sarah Lee. She played bass. Barry Andrews on organ. Johnny Too Bad on drums. And Mr. Fripp himself. You know, Robert Fripp, just a great discography from King Crimson all the way through. And of course, he did quite a lot with my next pick, which is Brian Eno. Yeah, this is a great album. This is Taking Tiger Mountains by Strategy. This is a 1974 Canadian original. I just realized I still got a sticker on here. I gotta take that off. I don't usually do that. It's on the Old Island label. This is a must-have record. Every collection, you should try and get this. It's been reissued, so you don't have to worry about paying stupid money like I did. And of course, these two guys, my F and my E, they did tons of collabs together, and this is good stuff. Okay, we're getting there, guys. For D, gonna go with Nick Drake, Pink Moon. This was his, he did 3 albums, and Nick Drake more or less went undiscovered for many years, and Apple used the song Pink Moon for a commercial. Was it Apple or was it Volkswagen? Oh shoot. You know what, it might have been Volkswagen. Anyway, great album. This is just him with guitar, and in one song he plays piano. And apparently he recorded this in the dark. So yeah, singer-songwriter, good stuff. For C, we're going to go with the Cramps. I've got 5 or 6 Cramp albums. This is kind of one of their Bad Music for Bad People. This one has a little bit of Collector. This is on IRS. Very good. Garage rock, psych, punk, you name it. Good stuff. For B, I'm going to go with Blur. This is Park Life, which is one of my favorite Blur albums. This has 3 other heavy hitters on it: Girls and Boys, End of a Century, and the song Park Life itself, which I freaking love. Park Life has Phil Daniels narrating it, which is, he played Jimmy in Quadrophenia. Love that cover, the Greyhound races. And for those that stuck around, we get to A, and I'm going to go with Tori Amos. I was going to go with Fiona Apple, but I couldn't find. Maybe I just have it on CD. Everyone's talking about Fiona Apple's new album, but one of my favorites of all time is Tori Amos. I saw her in the Royal Albert Hall several years ago. Just her. She had a grand piano on one side and a electric keyboard on the other, and she had a piano stool that was perpendicular to the audience. So she could play both. She could play the piano, she could play the keyboard, she could play both. Unbelievable. Just her by herself. This has Crucify, Precious Things, Little Earthquakes. Such a great album. Love, love, love me some Tori Amos. Anyway, A to Z, or Z to Ed. Just something fun. Good way to showcase some albums. In fact, I'm going to listen to a couple of these right now.